Well, I have been sharing about these two important vitamins with some of you, and just with the intention of creating the awareness and encouraging people to understand not just the importance of these two vitamins, which are required by every cell in our body every day, and any lack or deficiency of these two vitamins, what is the impact that it can have on our health. So let us begin with this thing about the macronutrients and the micronutrients. As we all know, the macronutrients are proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. And the food that we consume should, if I can use the word should, give us all the nutrients, whether it's macro or micro, required by our body. Unfortunately, we are not getting them. Various factors are there. And even our lifestyle and our habits are not allowing us to have at least the basic levels of these two vitamins, vitamin D3 and vitamin B12. So let me start with the vitamin D3. And
sorry, sir, are we recording? Can we record, please?
Yeah, I think it is being recorded.
Live streaming.
There's a live streaming happening.
Thank you.
Pandya Rajan is facilitating that. Yeah. So there are other vitamins also. There are 5 families of vitamins: vitamin A, B, D, E, and K. And they are classified as water-soluble vitamins and fat-soluble vitamins. A, D, D, E, and K are fat-soluble vitamins. That means to say, for these vitamins to get absorbed, fat is required. And the water-soluble vitamins like B12, B1, B2, B3, B6, and B12, these are water-soluble vitamins. These are not stored in the body. Whereas the fat-soluble vitamins are stored in the body, especially in the liver. The vitamin D3 is and can be the sources. Let us consider the sources. One of the main sources of vitamin D3 is sun. When we expose our body to the sun, when the sun rays, especially the UVB rays, which are available between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. Why we say UVB rays? It's basically the UVB rays are, when they fall on the skin, they produce an hormone inside the skin, and then that gets transported. It undergoes from a hormone to a vitamin and gets stored in the liver. Unfortunately, we do not expose ourselves to the sun. Let the sun fall on our skin, and the vitamin D3 is synthesized in the body in a natural way. Our lifestyle does not, or it's, we are not allowing the natural phenomena to happen because we are always indoors, we are always clothed, we are always covered, and we even if we are going out, we are using some protection for the skin, especially on the face, like sunscreen, lotions, and other things. These are the things which inhibit the production or the synthesizing of vitamin D3 in our body. And the second source is our food, the nutrition. The nutritional value of the food that we are eating is going down day by day. There are many factors to it. One is the exorbitant use of inorganic chemicals and fertilizers. So the nutritional value is going down. There's less and less organic content in the soil. And the second aspect is the food that we are eating is highly processed. So whenever or whatever food that we are eating, it is highly processed and it has already lost its nutritional value. So these two main things which are required for getting sufficient vitamin D3, we are not following them, exposing ourselves to the sun and having good nutritional food. Even though we want it, it's not available. That's the unfortunate thing. So the only option available to us is supplementation. So let me give some information about what our body requires in terms of a measure. So any adult requires minimum of 4,000 IU. IU stands for International Unit. Every day in any form, either through natural source exposing to the sun or through supplementation. And this is not happening. We are not exposing ourselves to the sun and we are not getting this 4,000 IU every day. Unfortunately, there seems to be a misinformation that is being spread. Again, I do not want to get into the politics or the hidden agenda, but the fact of the matter is, even the World Health Organization says that 400 IU is sufficient for an adult every day. So there is a ratio of 1:10, which we are not getting even through any of the sources. So what is the impact of this important vitamin deficiency over a long term? So I would like to invite Soumya to share her own experience about getting to know what her vitamin D3 levels were and what experience she was having when she was deficient and what actions she took to overcome deficiency and what was her experience health-wise after she overcame the deficiency. Over to you, Soumya.
Thank you, Prasad sir. So, yeah, vitamin D3 and B12, I got the importance when Prasad sir, shared it to me. Before that, I checked my levels, which was very low, and after that, due to that, the impact was like I was feeling very tired and pain all over the body. Even though my sugar levels were normal, everything was normal. But uh, as Prasad sir suggested to check over vitamin D3 and B12, and I was surprised to know that my uh, both the levels are very low. And after that, I started taking the vitamin D3 sachets, uh, like 2 days a week, and then 3 days a week, like that. and then reduced. Right now, I'm taking like weekly once. Okay, so it has been raised to a level of 75. So which was like no, it was just 15 to 20, and then it has now raised to 75. Now it is like I don't feel any kind of pain or tiredness all over the body due to that. Thank you, Prasad sir, for suggesting me that.
Yeah, thank you, Soumya. Thank you for sharing from your own experience. I mean, many of the things, many of the symptoms, if I can call, if I can put forth, one of the thing that precipitates or the body response is such that, what are signals the body gives when we are vitamin D3 deficient? One of them is the frequent infections that can happen. The immunity levels will be low, and we have these infections very often. Slight changes in the temperature or the climate, especially now when we are going from winter to summer. A lot of us have these health issues. Second main thing is the lower back pain. And this is the way the body is giving a signal that we are vitamin D3 deficient. Unfortunately, not many of us take the step of knowing what the levels are. And most of the time when we go to the doctors with some of these issues, health issues, we are not advised to take the vitamin D3 tests. The test involves basically giving a blood, and they check the levels of vitamin D3. Both vitamin D3 and B12 can be checked in the same blood sample. And the normal levels of vitamin D3 that is recommended should be anything more than 30 peak nanograms per milliliter of blood. So that is the measure, that is a metric of vitamin D3. So anything between 20 and 30 nanograms per milliliter of blood is considered insufficient, and below 20 nanograms per milliliter is considered to be deficient. So this we come to know only when we get the blood test done for vitamin D3 and as well as B12. B12 metric is a different one. I'll come to that later. So we need to understand what the levels are. And one of the important factors that most of us may not know or appreciate is long-term deficiency. Long-term deficiency of vitamin D3 can lead to health issues, and it can also precipitate to the extent of cancer. Even diabetes, which is considered to be a lifestyle issue, not a disease, is also because of long-term deficiency in vitamin D3. So what can we do? The first step is to take that test. My recommendation is at least you get it tested once to understand whether you're deficient or you have sufficient levels of vitamin D3. The test is very simple. We can either go to a pathology lab or we can book a online booking, and there are representatives of these labs coming home and taking the sample also. So let me share my this thing. As Soumya mentioned, when she tested, her levels were less than 20, which was deficient, and she went through the supplementation plan. Of course, some of the doctors who recommend this vitamin D3 test, once the individual is found to be deficient, they recommend 60,000 IU capsules, which is to be ingested, and it goes through the digestive system. And they ask us to take maybe one capsule a week for continuously for 4 to 5 weeks or 6 weeks, and then we are asked to stop. Unfortunately, this does not help raise the levels. The healthy levels of vitamin D3 recommended is anywhere more than 60 to 70 nanograms per milliliter. And it's not just raising it to those levels, but maintaining it. That is where the challenge comes. So first is finding out where our vitamin D3 levels are. And once knowing that we are deficient, then we need to start a supplementation plan. What I have found myself, my experiences, I've taken these capsules and they did not raise the levels as it was expected. Then after doing a lot of research, I could come up with a concept of sublingual supplementation. Sublingual is taking oral supplements using the capillaries in our mouth. So the oral supplements are available in a liquid form or a powder form. And when we take these supplements, oral supplements, the capillaries in the mouth absorb these vitamin D3 directly into the blood. And the efficacy is maybe in the ratio of 1:4 or 1:5. When we take those 60,000 IU capsules, because of the digestive process, many major this thing is lost in the digestive process. So basically, this should reach the gut where it is absorbed into the blood in the small intestine and large intestine. Unfortunately, most of it is destroyed by the digestive process. So even if we take 60,000 IU, maybe only 20%, that is around 12,000 IU, would reach the blood, and probably it gets utilized in 3 days. So as I was mentioning, everyday requirement, average requirement is around 4,000 IU. So within 3 days that is utilized, then again, even if we take the next dose after 1 week, another 4 days, the body is starving. All the cells are starving for this vitamin D3. So realizing this, the supplementation plan that I did was go through this oral supplementation. Initially, I had access to a spray which was imported from the US. Now, I'm using this powder form. It is available in a sachet, again 60,000 IU. So when I tested, I think it was in 2024 or something, it was around 23. And then I went through the supplementation plan where I took one sachet of 60,000 IU every day for the first week, once in 2 days during the second week, once in 3 days for the third week, and once in 4 days for the fourth week. And then I got it tested again, and my vitamin D3 levels had increased to 102 from 23. Yeah, Soumya is showing that sachet, the oral supplement she's
Yeah,
been taking.
this is what I'm being taking, and if you see, at the backside it is written 60,000 IU. It's 1 gram of sachet. So now I'm being taking weekly once. Every Thursday I used to take it, oral supplementation.
Yeah, so we have to overcome the long-term deficiency. We do not know how long our body has been deficient of vitamin D3. It could be since our birth. If our mother was vitamin D3 deficient, definitely we were born with vitamin D3 deficiency. And our nutrient, the food that we took did not overcome this deficiency. So it is only the awareness that, it all started with my wife Indrani complaining of back pain and going to the doctor and, visiting many doctors. It did not really help. Then doing a lot of research to understand the root cause of that back pain. So one of the things that I came across is vitamin D3 deficiency can lead to this lower back pain, and it was unbearable for her. So then doing the research and finding that oral supplement spray, she found relief. Within a couple of days, she found relief. And then doing further research, what I came across is to overcome the long-term deficiency, we have to raise the levels quickly from the deficiency, say, below 20. If we have to raise it to, say, 60 or 80, we need to go through the supplementation plan. Like I mentioned, that's what Soumya also did. 1 sachet per day, first week, once in 2 days, second week, once in 3 days, third week, and once in 4 days, fourth week. So 15 sachets, if we can, 15 sachets, if we can buy 15 sachets, the oral supplement. Acharya sir, if you can please go on mute. Yeah. So, those 15 sachets can reverse this deficiency. This has been my experience. This has been Soumya's experience, and I think a couple of more people have followed this supplementation plan, including Colonel Sir, Colonel Nizar Sir. He also was deficient, and he also could raise it to 97 by following the supplementation plan within 1 month. So a lot of times, people hesitate to take 2 tests in a span of 1 month. But in my experience, it is required in the interest that we do not suffer from long-term impact of this vitamin D3 deficiency, which can be anything up to cancer. I'm not trying to scare you, but it is a fact. Let us accept this. There are a lot of research being done about long-term deficiency. Again, there are other various factors also, the food habits and other things. But the fact is, these two vitamins, B2, B12, and D3, are required by every cell in the body for their proper functioning. And if we are deficient in these two vitamins, it will not show immediately, but it's like the compounding effect, if I can put it that way. Long-term deficiency can lead to irreversible health impacts, and that can have a big impact on ourselves, our family, and so. Acharya sir, if you can please mute. So my request to all of you is not only yourself, please go through this test. And I know many people are afraid to go through this giving the blood for testing. So for such people, let us assume that, we do not get, it's not assumption, it is a fact that we are not getting sufficient D3 from our food sources, and we do not expose ourselves to the sun. So let us start a supplementation on a regular basis. I would recommend to go through the supplementation plan, whether you get yourself tested or not, assuming that most of us, almost 80 to 90% of the people on the world, in the entire world, are deficient. Even though in Africa, people have abundance of sun, or even in the Gulf, there is abundance of sunshine available. Again, we cover ourselves most of the time, and we do not expose our skin to the sun. That is one of the reasons. And another factor that impacts, even though we expose ourselves to the sun, is the melanin, the pigment which gives the color of the skin. In Africa, people have high melanin, so the skin is dark, and this high melanin prevents absorption of the UVB rays, and therefore people in Africa are also deficient. And coming to the northern hemisphere countries, which is in the northern hemisphere, they are also deficient, because even though they have low melanin content, the availability of UVB rays is very less. So almost 80 to 90% of the people in the world are deficient. So let us supplement ourselves, take these supplements. So these sachets that Soumya showed are available, for about 30 to 35 rupees in the normal pharmacies. There are some brands like D or Calzen. So you can just go to any pharmacy and buy 15 sachets. And I would recommend that you go through your family doctor. If you can convince them to prescribe you for that test, you can get it tested if you are so interested. Otherwise, let us assume that we are all deficient and go through the supplementation plan and raise the levels. So there are a little more details that I want to share about, the other micronutrients like calcium, which is required by the body, will not get absorbed even though we are taking calcium supplements or having calcium rich foods. It will not get absorbed in the absence of vitamin D3. So it's quite complex. Our body is complex. The way it has been designed to function, if we are not respecting the normal functioning of the body, and we abuse it by taking highly processed food and not taking these supplements, it can lead to long-term impacts that we need to be careful about. So please get yourself tested, depending on different cities. In Bangalore, there is a company called Dr. C. It's an online, using an app, you can book the test. They'll come home and take the blood samples, and the next day they'll give the results. It costs around 600 rupees, 599 to be exact. You can also check if there are any pathology labs who come home and take the samples and give you the results. Those of you who would not like to, some of the pathology labs can charge as much as 2,000 to 3,000 rupees also. I don't know how much Soumya paid to get her test done.
I
Soumya,
had full health checkup, sir. If
Okay.
you see only a package was there. In that, I
Okay.
included the vitamin D3.
Yeah, so it's also recommended that there's a full health checkup if we can get it done once a year. It costs around 5,000 to 6,000 rupees, where these two tests are also part of that package. I think that's what Soumya got done. So I would suggest that please get yourself tested if you have not got tested, or if you are not interested, but still consider taking supplements on a daily basis. Initially, as I mentioned, one sachet per day for the first week, once in 2 days, second week, once in 3 days, third week, and once in 4 days, fourth week. Although this is what I'm sharing from my experience, as the proverb goes, an old patient is always better than a new doctor. So myself and Soumya and Colonel sir, we have gone through this. Even my wife, my daughter, we all have gone through this supplementation plan. We have raised the vitamin D3 levels sufficiently. And to maintain that, we are taking that one sachet per week. So I have a stock of this. Yeah, this is the. Yeah, this brand is called Calzen. Again, it's a D3 supplement in a powder form, and it is 60,000 IU. So I did not explain how this supplement has to be taken. So first thing in the morning, even before you brush your teeth, empty the sachet into your mouth, the entire sachet, 1 gram of that powder, and dissolve it. It is almost like a sugar powder, and some of them may be bland, depending on the brand. So you dissolve that powder, it dissolves in the saliva. Dissolve that entire content in the mouth and keep swirling it, like you do oil pulling. If some of you may be knowing about oil pulling, in oil pulling, you take virgin coconut oil, you put it in the mouth, maybe a tablespoon or something, and you keep swirling it in the mouth in order to detox the body. So it's something similar in that after swirling it for 5 to 10 minutes, you spit it out, the coconut oil. Whereas here, in the dissolved vitamin D3 supplement in the mouth should be swirled at least 3 to 4 minutes or even 5 minutes, so that the capillaries in the mouth will absorb all the vitamin D3 and directly it goes into the blood. And then you can gulp it. You don't have to spit it out. You let it go. Whatever is the remaining this thing, let it go through the digestive route and then again get it absorbed in the gut. So doing this way, so first thing, before brushing the teeth, empty the sachet, dissolve it, swirl it, and for 3 to 4 minutes. The longer, the better. And then swallow it. Doing this for this month, the supplementation plan has given the results for me, Soumya, and Colonel sir, and many others with whom I have shared. And then after that 4 weeks of supplementation, where it is high dosage, then we can switch to one sachet per week. So this is what we have planned, and we are being able to maintain the levels above 80 nanograms per milliliter. That's what my experience has been. And there are other important factors about taking vitamin K2 along with D3. Vitamin K2 is recommended to be taken along with vitamin D3 because it regulates the calcium absorption, especially by the soft tissues, the blood vessels. So first thing is calcium will not get absorbed if in the absence of vitamin D3. And if we raise our levels of vitamin D3, then calcium gets absorbed. But higher levels can also lead to calcification of the blood vessels. That means to say the blood vessels, which are supposed to be soft and flexible, they harden because of the calcium deposition inside the blood vessels. So to avoid that, vitamin K2 is recommended to be taken along with vitamin D3. So that whenever we take that vitamin D3 supplement, we can also take the vitamin K2 supplement in order to balance and regulate the absorption of calcium. So let me stop here. The time is 7:08. And yeah, if there are any questions that you have, I can respond to that. And then if time permits, we'll go through the Mind Valley Quest, the duality.
Thank you, Prasad sir. Thank you for taking on
Yeah,
this.
I did not touch upon vitamin B12. It's a huge this thing. What I've shared, I didn't even make any slides. There are some videos that are available, and I have created one WhatsApp group called Do Be Fit. Do Be Fit. It's just a short form for D for vitamin D3 and B for B for vitamin B12, where I keep posting articles and posts about vitamin D3 and B12. So if you would like to join this community, I'll share the link in the Morning Mastery WhatsApp group. You can join the link. Thanks to Pandya Rajan, he has created this community. So please take it seriously, not just for you, but also for your family members, because even if one of our family members is not well, it impacts everyone else. So I would request and urge you, to give importance to this two vitamins. Maybe vitamin B12, I'll take the next week, Soumya, if you and your team permit, and I'll
Yes,
cover
sir.
the vitamin B12 next week. But vitamin D3, let us take it seriously and either get ourselves tested, ourselves and our family members, if we are not aware of the levels, or we'll assume that we are deficient and start the supplementation plan. And I would also recommend, to check with your doctors. I'm not a doctor. All these suggestions come with a disclaimer that, I'm not supposed to recommend this, but what I'm sharing is from my own experience. What Soumya shared is with her own experience. And I also have a audio message from Colonel Sir, where he has shared his journey of this, improving the vitamin D3 levels for him following that supplementation plan. Thank you. Thank you, Soumya and the team, for giving me this opportunity. So let
Thank
us
you,
take it.
Prasad.
And my request is, once you have achieved this, improving the levels of vitamin D3 and later on B12, please spread the word, share it with your near and dear ones, friends, relatives, and encourage them. That's what Colonel Sir also said when, after he found he was deficient, and he went through the supplementation plan and he could raise it to 97 or something. Then he got his family members checked, and to his surprise, his daughters was single digit, 5 or 6. So he, in his audio message, said that, we are not educated or even, given these kind of inputs. So my request to you all is, take care of yourself and your family members, and then you can spread the word. I think this is very important. I do not want to get into the reasons why, even though there is this awareness, knowledge is there, but not many people take action. So this is something that we need to enroll people and encourage them to take regular supplements, to stay healthy and fit and avoid any negative impact of long-term deficiency. Thank you. Yes, Soja ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Okay, I shall get it tested and I shall replay it in 1 week. And another thing, sir, if there is soreness in the teeth, is it mark the result like this? There is deficiency in D3
Yeah.
or
No, one simple test to check, whether you are vitamin D3 deficient is, where the rib cage meets, both the rib cage meets, there below there is one V-shaped this thing. You just press it and hold it. Press means you have to press it a little hard. And if you feel the pain, that is an indication that you could be vitamin D3 deficient. Okay.
okay.
And one thing is, it's a fact that all of us are deficient, or we do not have sufficient levels for healthy functioning of the body and all the cells and organs, is because we are not getting it in any form, either the natural form or through our food. So every day, as it is mentioned, 4,000 IU is minimum requirement. It could be higher. And if in case we are falling ill, if our immunity levels are low, that also is an indication of this vitamin D3 deficiency. And our energy levels also will be low, being lethargic. All these things are there. There's a connection between vitamin D3, B12, and most of the things, micro and macronutrients. Even the absorption, the proper functioning of organs like pancreas also depends. If in case vitamin D3 is not there, how can beta cells produce insulin? Yes, Sujama.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. It's a very good class. We could understand about the difficulties and the good part of having D3. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Sujama. Yes, Jayashree ma'am.
Sir, like, why can't we naturally get it? Like, what is the best time to be under the under the sun to get vitamin D? Some people say early morning is best. Someone says in the afternoon. There is no particular time where the vitamin D is stronger in the sun when we sit there. For how many minutes to be sat under the sun?
Yeah, thank you. Very, very important question. Thank you, Jayashree ma'am, for asking this. See, one thing is long-term deficiency cannot be overcome by exposing ourselves to the sun. We have to raise the levels. So supplementation is definitely recommended. However, to maintain, once we raise the levels to above 60 or 80 nanograms per milliliter of blood, we can we can stop taking the weekly supplement. Instead, we can expose ourselves to the sun with minimum clothing. That is one of the requirements. The sun rays should fall on the skin, and only then that hormone gets synthesized and it undergoes 2 or 3 changes before it gets converted to vitamin D3, and then it has to get into the liver and get stored in it. So the recommended timing and duration. The timing is after 10 a.m. Before 3 p.m. So the angle of incidence of the sun rays is what is important. So when we stand, our shadow should be shorter than our height. When we stand vertically outside in the sun, our shadow should be shorter than our height. So that is the time when UVB rays are available. So that happens after 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. Like you mentioned, some people recommend early morning or late evening sun. During this time, when our shadow is longer than our height, the angle of incidence of the sun rays is at before 10 a.m. and after 3 p.m. The angle of incidence will not allow us to get the UVB rays. There, at that time, UVA rays are available, but that will not help synthesize vitamin D3 when it falls on the skin. And the recommended timing is anywhere between 20 to 30 minutes every day. One great thing, the way our body is designed is it will absorb as much as the body requires, and after that any more exposure will not help raise the levels. So 20 to 30 minutes between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. with minimal clothing. That is what is recommended to get the daily requirement of vitamin D3. This, even if we start today, if we are deficient, this will only help from now on, but it will not erase all the previous deficiencies. So one thing we need to do is raise the levels, and to maintain, we can either take one sachet per week as a supplement, or we can expose on a daily basis, or at least 3 to 4 days a week. Is it clear,
Sir, but
Jash?
yeah, one more question to add it to this, sir. But UV rays are harmful for getting skin because I think in India it is safer, but in Australia the UV rays are very stronger. So as you said, sir, UV rays are required for us to absorb the vitamin D.
Yeah.
So is it safe?
Without any protection, no sunscreen should be applied. If there is
Oil?
any nothing, no oil, no
Okay.
sunscreen, nothing. It should be bare skin. See, one
Sir,
thing, all these things are misconceptions, Jayashree ma'am. It is all these things are being spread by those who get the benefit of this misconception. Our ancestors, even if we take whether it's diabetes or the cancer and other things, no doubt the lifespan of our ancestors was less, due to many factors. However, most of them were healthy because of their, they were physically active and they were eating highly nutritious food, and they are, clean air, clean water. I think as we have come, grown technologically, and we are moving towards a sedentary lifestyle, the nutritional value of the food has gone down. We are not exposing ourselves to the the nature elements. All these things are leading to all these new health issues that we are coming up every day, and the pharmaceutical industries are also, are the main beneficiaries, and they are not keen in, if we are healthy, who is going to buy the medicines they produce? They spend a lot of money on research, new types of research, new viruses and everything, and we become the guinea pigs. So let us take our health into our own hands. Let us be the master of our own destiny, not allow all these misconceptions, all this wrong information that is being spread through advertisements and social media. Let us experience, why can't we, why we have become so risk averse? After all, what is going to happen if we expose ourselves to the sun? Yeah, the thing is, the skin may become dark, slightly dark, it can, but at what cost? Whether a healthy body is more important, or, having a fair skin. You must be knowing that, most of the people in the northern hemisphere, they come to places where there's abundant sun and they do sunbathing. Unfortunately, they use a lot of sunscreen lotion, and they do not get the benefit of even staying on, being on the beach with minimum clothing. They are not getting the vitamin D3 that they should get. If they had not used that sunscreen lotion, they only get the skin tan.
Sir, so UV rays are not harmful for the skin to get cancer then?
No. Do your own research. Now you have AI, Jayashree ma'am. You do the research. Today, all majority of the misconceptions, earlier we used to go, to another doctor to get a second opinion. Today we have a powerful tool in our hands, which is AI. So depending on what we want to know about our health, you can also do a simple search about the importance of vitamin D3. Go to ChatGPT or Gemini or any of these tools, and just put a query even about UVB rays. You'll come to know what exactly is the truth. UVA rays are not helpful in producing vitamin D3 in the body. So we have to expose between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. and minimum of 20 minutes.
Can I say, sir?
Yes, Soja ma'am. Is it okay,
Thank
Jayashree ma'am? I know in Australia, again, whether we are in the northern hemisphere or the southern hemisphere, it is people staying in countries or places where the equator passes. That is where the incidence of UVB or UVA rays will be the maximum. As we go towards the poles, again the impact of these rays will be reduced. So do your own research, Jayashree ma'am. You
Yes,
need
sir.
not believe me or this thing. Believe what these companies who get benefit out of spreading this misinformation. Do your own research. We have the powerful tool in our hands now. That is, I would say, a boon. Do your own research. Again, most of the results in for any query that we put in these things, they come with a disclaimer that we have to take whatever result we get. It can be inaccurate, but 90% of it cannot be wrong. There can be 10% error. That's what my gut feel says. So do your own research, Jason.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much for clarifying my question, sir.
Yes, Soja ma'am.
Ma'am, when you stand in the sunlight, you can have pure white cloth wearing, and you can have water. The water we drink, we can put it on our face or in our hand so that the rays will be absorbed very easily. And again, when the water content in the surface of the body is lost, again you can pour water. That's a thing that was said by C.R.R. Verma sir, who is a naturopathist doctor. And according to him only, I have done so many things. He had written 1 or 2 books. If ma'am get his book, you can read through it also. It's a very good book.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much,
C.R.R.
ma'am. Can you
Verma.
please share the book name in the group, ma'am?
Yeah, sure, I will, because I have gone through it. He is a very good naturopathist doctor. He had done so many researches, but his research were not accepted in India. He had given it to America, somebody. Now he is no more. He has gone because even his wife didn't accept it. That's the thing. Okay, thank you, ma'am. I shall do it.
Thank you, Soja ma'am.
Thank you,
Yeah.
ma'am.
No, I did not want to touch upon this subject because there are so many researches which say or highlight the importance of vitamin D3. I would like to share one real this thing. When it was realized that having high dosages of vitamin D3 helps in, proper functioning of our body and improves our health. People were taking 20 milligrams, which is, I don't know how many IU. There is a multiplication factor. And during that time, it was, most of the hospitals were empty. So 20 milligrams was being given to the people, and they all, there were no incidences of people falling ill. That's when the pharmaceutical companies, you can also do the research on this, pharmaceutical companies with in collusion with World Health Organization, they did some this thing, fake kind of a thing. They fed very high dosage of vitamin D3 to some 5 students or something, and they fell ill because of that high dosage. And they used that and as a reason and brought it down to 400 IU, which is not even 1 milligram. It is fraction of a milligram. And you go to the World Health Organization website and check what is the recommended vitamin D3, it will say 400 IU. And you can also do a research about, how high levels of vitamin D3 can avoid all these health issues. Yes, Murugesh sir, you have anything to share?
Nothing. Daily I am, morning after 10 o'clock now, 10 to 12, I will be sitting in the sun and reading my book. Whenever I'm here, most of the time I will do it like this, most of the days.
Great, great, Murugesh sir.
Now, thank you.
Yeah, so yeah, that is what is recommended. Let us take it into our own hands. You also can check with your doctor to say that I would like to know my vitamin D3 and B12 levels. Can you please prescribe? Just listen to what your doctor says.